This is Entrepreneur Studio with Patrick Bryant, brought to you by SC Biz News, the Harbor Entrepreneur Center, Code and Trust, trusted co-founders in tech, and our sponsor, Harbor Wealth Management Group.
Greg Hilton is one of the co-founders of SOCO here in Columbia, which is a phenomenal space helping entrepreneurs. But SOCO itself is a partnership of a couple of really good entrepreneurs. Yep. So who are the partners of SOCO?
So we have two founding partners, or three, including myself. Kelly Truesdale. He literally went to law school because he got bored. He got his master's in computer science, again, because he was tired and bored of what he was doing. He's just a really brilliant guy, and he's mostly the reason that we are still around from a financial standpoint, because he's just a bloody genius. Founding partner is Gene Crawford. He's a super recognized figure in the web and the tech community here, and he's been designing and building for the web for 20 years. And in fact, we're actually partners on another venture called Period 3. It's our sort of web services and engineering company. It's a SOCO company, and we run it out of SOCO. And we, for the most part, we collaborate with SOCO members on it. So, and then we have a one outside investor / partner. So,
love it. But to focus in on one of those partners. they're both amazing.
They are.
But Gene in particular, you guys have been in the foxhole together trying to figure life out.
Yeah.
And it's not an easy game, right?
No, it's not.
I call them partner cousins.
Yeah.
I have 9 partners that are in different businesses. And Sam Staley and I really love the guy, but at the same time, while he's brilliant, we can fight like brothers.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, absolutely.
And I respect him in a lot of ways, but you get into these situations that you're fighting together. Mm-hmm. You're slaying a dragon.
Yeah.
So give us an example of the story with Gene.
How much time do we have?
2.5 minutes.
2.5 minutes. All right. So Gene and I actually we co-founded SOCO together, and then funny enough, through a series of unfortunate events, we came together around another company that he had been working on for years that was not in a good place, and we came together to try to sort of resuscitate that. And for whatever reason, I seem to be fairly good at that.
Well, but you know what I love about that story too is that Andrew Strickland's one of my business partners.
Yeah.
And he is phenomenal at sales. And my line is, we're like a band, and I'm not going on tour without Andrew.
Dude, that was so Southern. Did you hear that?
Yeah.
A band.
A band. But no, for real, like I'm passionate that once you have your tribe, you're going to work on multiple things together because you're like, hey, we're going to go do that thing. Well, Andrew's got to come because I can't be me without this guy. Like this guy helps me do the stuff.
So, I mean, we are very much yin and yang. Yeah. And it's so funny how, the opposites attract, and that's the case. So I can't believe we're actually business partners because we are that different.
So I do tend to occasionally get into disagreements with people. It might be a thing that happens in my life, but my line is, if the two of us agree, one of us is not needed.
Yep.
Because we're trying to bring diversity of thought to the exercise.
But I think 100% opposites is probably not a very good mix.
Yeah, of course.
So the thing
you can certainly drive your partner crazy.
Right. But I think there has to be some commonality there.
That's
So through fighting through some stuff, getting to know each other, Gene and I sort of realized, at least I have realized, what connects us. He is very much, and it's in how he talks and what he does and how he communicates, this never give up mentality. Never give up mentality. It is a part of his DNA, and he's outward about it. He's he embraces that.
Never give up.
I am inward looking in that respect, but that same concept, through my actions and my efforts, have risen to the surface. And I think that's that connectivity that we found, that we made. We're both fighters.
Yeah.
We fight different ways. I mean, he literally is like a certified deadly weapon in the state of South Carolina, and I'm a hugger. But that internal grit and spirit is there. So Gene has been there more times than I can count, and that's a measure of a person. So many times on SOCO, but I'll talk about period 3 for a second. So we're in the web services business, design, build, and that is a client-centered environment. And so we have been working with a client.
Service-based companies are hard.
They're hard to scale. They're hard to grow.
Yeah.
They are just hard. But it is a labor of love. So we had been working with a client. This is several years ago for a while, and we had grown quite a bit. We had grown together, and then that client started getting ambitious about what they wanted to build, and so there was a major product that we all decided we're gonna roll the dice, and we're all gonna see if we can level up on this thing. And it was significant, a lot of money and a lot of relationships and a lot on the line for this thing, and it started going sideways. Due to just some decisions that were made that we had less control of than we wanted to. So I'm driving this bus, right? This bus is clearly heading for a ditch, and it is clear.
And you can see it coming.
Yeah, and it's like slow motion. Yeah. It's clear there's not much we're going to be able to do about it. And the client is like, this is everything's on the line. This isn't working. What are we going to do? And I'll never forget. So in the heat of it, I mean, when most people would probably want to start like throwing fists. Yeah. And it got hot. It was hot. And Gene's a big guy, and he literally is like, you're right, a martial artist, all that stuff. He turns to the client and says, you don't need to worry. Doesn't matter what happens after this thing is done. We're going to get it done. We will not give up until this thing is launched. And I have never seen someone be that direct and that calm and say it in that way and put that individual that was in a clear state of distress, just like that, put him at ease. Yeah. And stood up. I mean, and it was 50-50. I mean, we probably should have walked away. Right. Burned the boat. Yeah. Never looked back. Yeah. Because the pain that we had to go through to get to that promise that we just made was significant and deep.
But what I'm hearing, and I know to be true, is that as entrepreneurs, we are truly promising to someone we are going to deliver a thing. Yeah. And I tell a lot of people in the accelerator, the Harbor Accelerator, Harbor Entrepreneur Center, one of my lines is sell the ghost. It's like, hey, we don't have this thing yet, but I'm going to go sell it, and then we're going to convince you to buy it, and then I'm going to go produce it because you said you'll pay that amount of money for it. But fraud occurs if you can't deliver. Yeah. So I'm not blanket saying, oh, just sell the ghost. It's like, no, sell the ghost that you can deliver. And the reality is, I do think that what we do is create a promise with the customer and then deliver on it. And in this case, Gene is saying,
he's the guy.
Look, I got it.
He's the guy.
We're going to deliver this thing.
And there is like the hope, we got to get this done to sell, to deliver on our commitment to the client. But then there is the internal spirit of that statement that this is a matter of integrity. We promise someone something, and this is all that I have to measure myself on. No, literally.
I love that.
Integrity, that commitment.
I love it. It's so
even
true.
When
so true.
You don't want to do it. Yeah. Even when you would much rather walk away. Yeah. And that level of strength inside of yourself, I have seldom encountered in other people. And so I'm incredibly fortunate. Love you, man.
Well, I think that what you're saying is true in that we are a band of thieves that understands that at the end of the day, we're going to make a promise and we're going to own it. And we're going to do everything we can to deliver it. And that's how we end up keeping companies together through really hard times, because we have a promise to our employees, we have a promise to the client, and we truly believe 100% that we're going to show up to that meeting and we're going to make this happen, even no matter how hard it hurts.
Even if you're crying in the corner afterwards. Or in the actual meeting.
Thanks for sharing that, Greg. It's so good to hang out with you.